Hello, and welcome to this Price a Job tutorial. In this video, we'll be taking a look at the Screed Floors module. There may be times that rather than estimating a whole floor including the structure of it, you'll only be simply refurbishing the existing, and perhaps replacing the screed layer. So for that, Price a Job has a module here within the ground floors category in the module toolbar, and then you can select Screed and create the module. If you'll be removing an existing screed floor before adding the new one, you may want to add a separate module for preparation first to provide an estimate for removing the existing screed floor. And that can be found here in the module toolbar, under Preparation, in the Demolition and Removal module. So let's create that first, just for a quick look. And then here in the Stage pane, you can select the Demolition Select box. And there's a variety of categories to select from, including building and outbuildings, ceiling finishes, concrete demolition, and a variety of others. However, it's the concrete demolition that we're most concerned with here. Under this category, there's a variety of demolition projects that we can add, including breaking up concrete beds or removing screed. So for example, if we needed to break up the concrete bed, we could just click on that to add that to our estimate, and then also add the remove screed. Here we could input the area that needs to be removed, so let's just say 25 square meters for both. And Price a Job will calculate the demolition costs for that. And we can add any other tasks to this demolition that we require as well. But in our case, we won't be breaking up any concrete, so let's just remove this from the list by clicking the trash bin. And now the only demolition is to remove the existing screed. And Price a Job calculates the demolition waste and the number of skips required to remove it as well. And these will be combined with the other skips in our various other modules. Now we can go to the screed and work out the estimate for applying the fresh screed floor. So to start with, we can input the area of our floor. If we know the area already, we can just input it here as a value. Otherwise, we can click the area calculator to either create the shape of the floor by using our shapes calculator here and inputting the various values, or we can exit this and remove that. If we've already set up our rooms in advance, we can click on the Rooms tab and simply click on the room from our Rooms library, and this will be automatically added to our area calculator. We can save that, and now our estimate will be based on this area. Anytime we need to, we can return to the area calculator to make any changes or view our area calculations. Next, we can specify what type of screed we wish to use, either a traditional screed or liquid. Traditional screed is a cement and sand mix. Liquid screed is delivered by lorry with a pump. There are some differences between the two. We'll take a look at both. We'll start with traditional. Next is the floor insulation, and let's expand our sketch pane so we can have a closer look at this. We can deselect the floor insulation to see it represented here within the sketch pane. We can add that back in, and Price a Job has automatically calculated the area of floor insulation to be 22.4 square meters. Then we can select the materials we prefer to use. If the material that we want to use is not represented here in the Price a Job library, we can click Edit Pack and either select different materials from the Price a Job library or add a new material by inputting the title, unit, price, category, and website link. But we'll just stick with the Celotex panels for now, but maybe we'll increase that to 25 millimeters. Next is the protective layer, and again we can toggle this to see it represented within the sketch. And Price a Job has calculated the area of protective layer we'll require. And we'll notice that the area is slightly larger than the floor area, and that's because of the vertical wrap that extends upwards. And we can see that just in the corners here, across the top. And again, we can select materials from the drop-down list, or Edit Pack to add new ones. And also for the perimeter insulation, we can deselect that to see it represented. This is in place to prevent thermal bridging and is required by building code for all exterior walls. The perimeter of the room has been automatically calculated based on the assumption that this is a square room. However, if the room that you're calculating is in a regular shape, you can use the area calculator here and build that room using shapes within the area calculator. So for example, if you had an L-shaped room with one rounded wall, you would select the L shape plus a semicircle, and then input your measurements for all of these, and this would all be added to your area calculator. In this case, we'll just stick with the square room. And again, we have a materials drop-down menu where we can select the insulation to be used for the perimeter. Next, we have reinforcement mesh. and the system has calculated that we'll require 22 square meters, and we can choose to apply either a single layer or double layer, and the size of the mesh to be used, either A142, 193, 252, 393, or a custom mesh, and then we can select from the drop-down menu a variety of A and B category meshes. Under the cog settings, we can set the percentage of overlap for the mesh. For spacers, we have options to use either single chairs or continuous rebar, and we can set the spacing in millimeters, currently set at 400 millimeters. Next, we have the Screed layer, and this is a traditional cement and sand mix. So for this, we can input the thickness, currently set at 65 millimeters, and our cement ratio, currently set at 1:3. If instead of traditional cement and sand, we were ordering liquid, then in that case, we could specify the thickness of our Screed layer, and PriceJob automatically calculates the volume of Screed required, the minimum order, and part load charge. Under the cog settings, we can adjust the minimum order here. If we close our sketch pane and refer to the estimate pane, we can see here is our liquid Screed, and when we order liquid Screed, we are estimating for the liquid Screed as well as the part load charge and the labor. If we were to choose traditional Screed, in that case, the estimate is updated to cement and sand, with materials for sharp sand, cement, and Screed fibers, as well as the labor. If we change the unit of our labor to by the hour, we can see the hourly labor rate that we are paying for the general builder. If we need to override this, we can do so simply by clicking in the field and inputting our new value. This is then highlighted in yellow to show that we have overridden this value. If we later decide that we need to revert this back to the default system price, we can just click on the cog button and click reset, and that reverts back to the PriceJob system price. If you find that you are overriding the same value repeatedly and you would like to change the default price within the PriceJob system, you can do so by clicking on the Company tab here in the top navigation bar and selecting Labor from the Resources menu. Then here under the search field, we can type Screed, and this will show us the various labor rates associated with Screed. So here we have laying floor Screed, and this is assigned to a general builder. We could select from the drop-down to assign this to a different specialist. And here we can adjust the hours required per square meter. If we'd like to see the labor rate, we can change this to the hour, and the general builder is being paid £20 an hour. If we need to change that, we can click on Tradespeople here within the Resources menu, and under General Builder, we can change their labor rates here, either the default rate for all projects, or just the project rate for this specific project. When we're done, we can go back to our Estimates tab here within the navigation pane, review our Screed floor module, and we'll just reset this back to the default setting. Now we can change the title of our module here, so let's call this Basement Floor, and this is automatically updated here within our description. In addition, our automatic description has been updating as we've made all of our changes to provide a nicely written description of all work to be performed. This also carries over to the Reports tab, where we can see the Demolition module has been added to remove the Screed, and if we scroll down, we can see the new Screed Floors module added here. We can change the price selection to show the breakdown of pricing for each module, and if we choose Show Advanced Pricing to show the complete breakdown of materials, labor, plant, and tool. We can add any notes or disclaimers we wish to the bottom of our quotation, adjust the appearance of the bullets, and conceal the various module icons with the Show Icons tick box here. When we're done, we can print our quote, export it as a PDF or Word document, or email it directly from within PriceJob. And that's how to use the Screed Floors module. Thank you for using PriceJob.